Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you part 5 of the Eldar Craftworld Guardian playlist. This is a playlist where I am basically painting up a whole different batch of Craftworld colour schemes for you guys to check out. I hope you've been enjoying parts 1 to 4 so far. Part 5 is going to be on Alaitoc, so that beautiful dark blue armour with the yellow helmets. So stick around to the end of the video and enjoy. Okay guys, after preparing the model in our regular way with the spraying of black and spraying of grey sear, we'll have a link in the video here just to, in case you were wondering how I did that. We're going to start with a Leviadon Blue contrast to lay down the base coat for that nice rich blue armour that is on an Alaitoc Guardian. So just overload your brush with contrast, start applying it, and just make sure it doesn't pool anywhere you don't want it to. It's not such a big deal if it does pool a little bit in some odd areas, as we will be relayering this later on. So what you want to do is make sure that you get all of the parts of the armor that are supposed to be blue done with contrast Yriel Blue. That includes the faceplate. Next we're going to move on to Yriel Yellow contrast to get the yellow helmet done with a nice clean base coat. How quickly you can get a model looking to a fairly decent standard so quickly with contrast paint. I don't think I'll ever get over that fact. Sometimes if I don't have time to do an entire project, I'll just get all the base coats and washes done just so they're not completely grey on my shelf. Next we move over to Skeleton Horde, and we're just going to use this to apply a coat of Skeleton Horde over the shuriken pistol. Some Craftworlds seem to have bone weapons, and some people have black weapons. There doesn't seem to be much of rhyme or reason to it, but I guess which is a dark colour scheme, they want to brighten it up a little bit. So now we're going to use Retributor Armour Gold, and we're going to use this on all of the gold details on the miniature, so any of the gemstone and gemstone housings that are on this model, plus the hilt of the sword, the pommel of the sword, and there's a couple of bumps or gemstones or designs on the shuriken pistol which also go gold. If you check the reference material in your codex, you will see this. If you've been following along with the playlist, you'll know that these steps here are pretty identical to all the other ones. It is only the armor that really changes. Next we're going to move on to Leadbelcher, just to base coat the blade, as it's the only silver part of the entire miniature. And then of course we're going to do an all over shade of Seraphim Sepia to tie everything together, and this will shade the yellow and the bone really nicely, and it'll do a pretty good job over the blue. Like I said, I'll be relayering it afterwards, so don't worry too much. It will act like a nice natural shadow. While this while the shade is now drying, I'm going to take an opportunity to get this model based up. I always like to have the model based up about halfway through. Therefore, when I'm doing the second half of the painting, you're basically working towards the model being 100% complete. And to me, that's a really nice incentive to push forward and get it done. So yeah, while that is drying, I'm going to get the base done, and I'm going to take the opportunity to chat to you guys a little bit. Okay guys, while the shade is drying, I thought I'd take this opportunity to once again thank you guys for the continued support on the 365 project. It's going extremely well, and I can only thank you guys for that, for all the nice comments, for all the likes, and for of course watching the videos. If you find real value in what I do and you want to see the 365 project succeed even more, then there are links to my Patreon below. I'm going to check those out. There's a host of extra benefits that you guys can reap if you join my Patreon community. Thank you very much guys, and let's get back to painting. Okay, with all the shade dry and the basing now done, it's time to bring up that armor like I was talking about. For this we're going to use Kantor Blue, which is in itself quite a dark blue, but it's obviously not nearly as dark as the armor is currently sitting, and these guys are supposed to have dark blue armor, so this is a perfect layering paint for that. So just go over the segmented armor plates of the Guardian, making sure to leave that nice rich shadow in all the recesses and all the cracks and lines in the armor, and then using that nice blue to bring it up. This is my 5th Eldar Guardian. I've painted in a different colour scheme, and I've enjoyed each and every one of them. Just goes to show how amazing the new range of Eldar miniatures are. Next we're going to use Yriel Yellow, and this is to bring up the yellow helmet to a nice shiny sheen, as is depicted in all the art and the reference pictures from the codex. This is quite a thin paint, Just like I talked about in the lyanden video, you want to take your time. You're going to need at least 2 coats to get a nice clean yellow. I basically went for 2 coats all over the entire helmet, except for the forehead I went for 3 just to get that flat dome bit looking the most pristine that it can be. From here we're going to move over to Ushabti Bone, and we're going to use this to layer up the shuriken pistol in his hand with the contrast skeleton horde and the sepia. It is actually quite a nice color that it is, and if you are painting up like 100 of these guys or even 50 of these guys, you might want to leave out this step, as it can take a little bit of time. And like I said, the color it already is actually quite nice looking, so don't panic too much. From here we're going to use Leadbelcher to layer up the sword and all of the gold details. So we're going to add little dot highlights to the gold, which will just help make it pop and make it look like that old tarnished kind of color gold, which of course Eldar weapons will be thousands of years old, so you're going to have a little bit of patining and stuff like that. And then make sure that you do the center of all the gemstones with that silver as well, so that we can go in with this warp lightning contrast that goes straight over the gems. To make them pop. I also put a little bit of silver in the eye sockets so that I could then use the green contrast in there as well to make it look like glowing green eye lenses. Every other Eldar Guardian video I've done so far, I have used Talazar Blue for all the gemstones, but obviously the armor on this is quite blue, so you'd kind of get lost. So I switched over to green for this particular Guardian, and I think it did a treat with making it stand out. Once this stage is complete, that's pretty much a completed Alaitoc Guardian. Once again, I'm super pleased with the result. I hope you guys are too. I hope you've picked up a few tips and tricks from this video and are looking forward to trying it out yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Eldar playlist. I'm going to take a break from painting Guardians now and move on to a couple of other projects which have been sitting on the back burner for too long. So I hope that you guys will stick around and enjoy seeing those. I will see you guys in the next video.